So you're thinking about downsizing, or maybe it's your parents who need to downsize and you're the one trying to figure out how to help them through this. Either way, there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in this decision, right? Look, I've been doing this for years, and I can tell you some people are absolutely ready to let go of the big house. They're actually excited about it. They want less maintenance, they want to travel, they want freedom. But then for others, it's tough. It could be really tough sometimes. You've lived in this house for 30, 40, maybe even 50 years. Your kids grew up here. You know all your neighbors. The thought of leaving feels like you're giving up a piece of yourself. Both of those feelings are completely normal, by the way. I'm Tricia Garcia, and I'm a certified senior real estate specialist. That's SRES if you see those letters floating around. I've spent years specifically training to help families navigate this exact transition. And it is a transition, not just a move. We're talking about downsizing your home, yes, but also right-sizing your lifestyle for this next chapter. Now, I work with all kinds of people. First-time home buyers who are so excited about that first set of keys, growing families who need more space, but I also have a special place in my heart for working with our precious mature adults. When I was 8 months old, my birth mother passed away. My dad, brothers and sisters, and we moved in with my grandparents. And in those early years, my grandmother raised me. We had such a close, tight relationship. And even as I got older, I would visit her during my lunch breaks from work. We had this grandma, mom, daughter kind of bond. We took care of each other. And then when I had my own kids, I'd bring them to visit grandma on the weekends. We'd help her with her errands, do some cooking, tidying up around the house, and honestly just hanging out and spending some quality time together. Over the years, I watched her go through the stages of aging, and she did it so gracefully, but it taught me so much, and it gave me a deep respect for our parents and grandparents. I think that's why I'm so passionate about helping seniors with their homeownership and transition needs. I've helped countless families through this process, and I can tell you, there's a right way to do this that honors both the past and the future. So, in this video, I want to talk about the emotional side of downsizing for seniors and why it feels so heavy for some people and yet exciting for others. And honestly, some real strategies to make it easier, because this doesn't have to be painful. It can actually be empowering. Let me ask you something. When you bought your house, was it perfect? Of course it was. It fit your life exactly the way it was at that moment. For a lot of people, that house was perfect when the kids were younger. You needed the extra bedrooms. You needed the big yard for them to run around and play in. You needed space for holidays and family dinners. The house became part of your identity. Your neighbors became like family. Everything felt safe and comfortable and familiar. Okay, but here's the thing. Life changes. Maybe those stairs are getting harder to manage. Maybe you're heating and cooling rooms that nobody's even gone into. Maybe you're just tired of all the upkeep. Or, and this happens too, maybe you're actually excited about this. You're ready for something smaller and simpler. You want to travel more, maybe spend time with your kids and your grandkids more. You want to be closer to family. You're thinking, I'm done with the yard work and I want my weekends back. Well, both of those mindsets are valid. And that's usually when the question comes up, is it time to downsize? But how do you know when it's time? Okay, so one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do I know when it's the right time to move? And honestly, it's not always clear cut, because downsizing for elderly parents, or maybe for yourself, isn't just about real estate. It's about lifestyle, health, safety, and absolutely peace of mind. Here are some of the signs that I see all the time with my clients. Unused space everywhere. You're paying to heat, cool, and clean rooms that literally haven't been touched in months, maybe even years. The kids' bedrooms still look exactly like they did when they were in high school, but now they're just collecting dust. The maintenance is getting exhausting. The yard work, the gutters, the roof repairs, it all feels like too much. Tasks that used to be no big deal now feel very overwhelming. Or worse, dangerous. I can't tell you how many families call me after a parent has had a fall. Money's getting tight. Property taxes keep going up. Utility bills are higher. Every time something breaks, it's another chunk of money. Downsizing can free up thousands of dollars a year. Money you could be spending on things you actually enjoy. So if you're daydreaming about a different life, you find yourself thinking, what if I didn't have to deal with this lawn? Or what if I could just lock the front door and travel for a month? That longing for a simpler lifestyle, that's your heart telling you something. Now let's look at the health and safety concerns that are creeping in. So if stairs are becoming a problem, if the bathroom feels unsafe, or if your spouse has had a medical scare, that's your home telling you it doesn't fit this stage of life anymore. And listen, just because a house doesn't fit now, doesn't mean it wasn't the perfect house for a season. It served its purpose. It held your memories. But you get to make a decision based on your future, not your past. So when you start seeing these signs, that's when people realize this isn't about giving up. It's about moving towards something better. Let's look at the emotional weight of stuff. Okay, let's talk about the hard part. And it's not the logistics. It's the stuff. You've got 30, 40, maybe even 50 years of belongings in this house. And when you look around, you think, what am I supposed to do with all of this? Here's exactly what I tell every single client. You have time to go through things thoughtfully, to share stories with your families, and to make intentional decisions about what matters. Now, I will say, a lot of my clients actually find this part very liberating. They love getting rid of clutter. They're selling things that they don't use anymore, and they're starting fresh. So it's not all heavy. Sometimes decluttering your parents' home, or maybe it's even your own home, it feels like shedding weight you didn't realize you were carrying. So here's how I recommend tackling it. Start small. Don't try to tackle the whole house at once. Pick one room. Heck, okay, just pick one closet at a time. Just start somewhere, because that momentum is going to build. So I like to use a simple system of choosing 4 categories, which are keep, donate, pass on, and discard. So only keep what you truly use or absolutely love. Donate the good stuff that can still bless somebody else. And then pass on your precious heirlooms or sentimental items for your kids or your grandkids. And then just discard anything that's broken, outdated, or stuff that just is completely done. I also recommend get help. So invite your family to be part of this. It can actually be a beautiful way to share memories as you pass things along. Or if that feels too emotional, hire a professional senior move manager or organizer. Having someone neutral in the room takes the emotion down a notch, and it adds structure. I also like to tell my clients to create a memory book or a digital photo album for the things that you can't keep, but you don't want to forget about. All right, here's a big one. A lot of people worry about leaving their neighbors and their community. Those connections can run really deep. I hear it all the time. Will I be lonely if I leave the neighborhood? That is such a real fear. But here's what I've seen happen over and over. Downsizing for seniors often creates more opportunities for connection, not less. So think about it. When your kids were young, your social life revolved around school activities, sports, carpool, right? Okay, well, that season's over. Your social needs are very different now. And downsizing is not just about moving into a smaller home, it's about moving into a lifestyle that supports where you are today. So here's what that can look like. Say senior living communities of 55 plus in those neighborhoods. So these communities are vibrant. They've got fitness classes, social clubs, game nights, travel groups. You walk in with a built-in circle of friends who are all at the same stage of life. Also, a smaller home closer to shopping, restaurants, community centers is going to keep you connected. So you're not isolated because you don't feel like driving 30 minutes every time you need something. You're going to gain back some time freedom. Less house to clean, no yard to maintain, fewer repairs, and that means more time for volunteering, hobbies, travel, or just enjoying life. So Aging in place sounds nice, but sometimes right sizing into a more manageable home is what actually keeps you active and engaged. You're also going to gain some family time. So moving closer to your kids or your grandkids changes everything. So instead of spending your energy on house maintenance, you get to spend it creating new memories. Here's the mindset shift. Downsizing isn't a social downgrade. It's an upgrade. You're designing a lifestyle where your days are filled with connection and activity, not yard work and worry. All right, let's talk about money for a second, because a huge reason people choose to downsize is financial relief. But it's not just about dollars and cents. So even if your mortgage is paid off, housing costs, they don't stop, right? You still have property taxes, utilities, insurance, maintenance, landscaping. It's all adding up, especially in a bigger home. So when you move into a smaller, more manageable space, you often cut those costs significantly. I've seen some of my clients save hundreds, actually some even thousands a month. That's money you can put towards travel, hobbies, your grandkids, retirement savings, whatever actually matters to you. But it's not just about the money, it's about peace of mind. So when your home fits your lifestyle, you're not lying awake at night thinking, what if the roof needs replacing? Or what if I just can't keep up with this yard in a few years? Downsizing removes those what ifs. You get to enjoy the present instead of worrying about the future. Now, if you move into a condo or a community, a lot of those exterior responsibilities, such as the roof, the landscaping, if you're in an area with snow removal, they're taken care of for you. And that's huge, right? So at the end of the day, downsizing, it's not just about saving money. It's about gaining freedom, security, and peace of mind. It's choosing a lifestyle that lets you focus on experiences and relationships instead of repairs and bills. Okay, this is my favorite part to talk about, designing your next chapter. For so long, your home was defined by raising kids, hosting holidays, being the neighborhood hub. And those memories are precious. But this next chapter, it's about you. So ask yourself, what do I want my days to look like? Do I want less housework and more travel? Do I want a home that I can just lock up and leave so I can visit my family whenever I want? Do I want to be a part of a community where I can stay active and social? This is your opportunity to create a home that supports your dreams and not your to-do list. So downsizing doesn't mean downsizing your life. It means upsizing your lifestyle, right? It's stepping into a space that fits who you are now and who you're becoming, instead of holding onto a space that represents who you were. And you don't have to figure this out alone. That's literally why I do what I do. As a certified senior real estate specialist, I walk this road with so many families. I understand the challenges, but I also see the incredible opportunities on the other side. Your next chapter is about embracing new possibilities with clarity, freedom, and excitement. Now, if you're in Southern California, I would absolutely love to help you personally navigate this transition. I'm Tricia Garcia. Again, I'm a certified real estate specialist, which means I've gone through specialized training specifically for helping seniors and their families with these life transitions. This isn't just selling houses for me. It's about understanding the emotional, financial, and lifestyle pieces that come with this stage of life. But even if you're not local, listen, you don't have to do this alone. I work with a trusted network of vetted real estate agents all across the country who also specialize in senior transitions, downsizing, relocation, and helping families sell a loved one's estate. So no matter where you or your family members live, I can connect you with someone who's going to take really good care of you, someone who gets it. And if you're sitting there thinking, is now the right time? I've got something for you. I created a free checklist called, Is It Time to Downsize? It'll help you evaluate your home, your lifestyle, and your readiness. So just comment the word time below or send me a message and I'll get it right over to you. So if this video was helpful, please like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's a friend. Either way, pass it along. Remember, downsizing isn't about leaving your life behind. It's about moving forward into something easier, freer, and more enjoyable. I'll see you in the next one.